This is Chad and Steve. We're the co-founders of the site, and we just want to say thank you. Today we have some exciting news for you. We've been acquired by Google.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 events that changed YouTube forever.
But what has been missing is how to expand React further to communities across the world, which we know for years is something all of you have wanted, and we wanted too.
For this list, we're only looking at events that affected the platform itself. Notorious creator-driven events are a different list. Let us know in the comments which you think has changed the platform, for better or worse. Number 10. Gangnam Style. After Google itself, YouTube is the second most visited website in the entire world. In mid-2021, it's got over 2 billion users and 5 billion videos are watched daily. But there was a time when numbers like this were completely incomprehensible. And though videos with millions of views are common now, there was one video that famously broke YouTube's view count: Gangnam Style.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
Strictly speaking, YouTube didn't break, but it did get more views than the maximum view counter at the time. When Gangnam Style got 2 billion views, YouTube had to raise its counter.
What about C4 Style?
Gangnam Style.
C4 Style, what?
Today, the counter is more than 9 quintillion, a 19-digit number. But Gangnam Style was not the most viewed video for long, eventually being ousted by Despacito in 2017. Number 9. React World.
So I got my laptop all set up, song ready to go, and let's go.
Nowadays, the internet is awash with reaction and commentary videos. But once, it was more of a novel format, until the Fine Bros came along.
But what has been missing is how to expand React further to communities across the world, which we know for years is something all of you have wanted, and we wanted too.
They created the popular reaction series Elders React and its many spin-offs like Kids React and Teens React. In 2015, they decided they wanted to trademark the word React and make it so everybody creating reaction content would have to do so under their brand, giving them a cut of the ad revenue.
We are excited to announce React World, which is a first-of-its-kind program that allows people and companies to license all our popular shows online so that anyone, even you watching right now, can create your own version.
Understandably, people were not happy. They wanted to trademark an entire genre of YouTube videos to line their own pockets.
Unlike in TV where you have to pay huge amounts up front, we're providing the license with no upfront fees. Instead, we're sharing revenue with you after you start uploading.
The backlash was so immense that the trademark request was withdrawn, and the entire idea shamefully abandoned.
In the terms, they own 50% of your brand deals, 60% of your rev share. You can't even post your video to Facebook, apparently, without their permission. That sounds like a great deal. Sign me up.
Number 8. YouTube's biggest lie. In September 2019, Nerd City published another of his large expose-style videos. He was able to prove something many smaller creators had been alleging for years, that YouTube systematically demonetizes LGBTQ+ content and often rates it as only suitable for adults, essentially shadow banning certain videos, even though they might be totally safe for work otherwise.
If we took a demonetized video and changed the words gay or lesbian to happy or friend, every single time, the status of the video changed to advertiser friendly.
YouTube's CEO, Susan Wojcicki, has continually claimed that no such discrimination exists. But the evidence is there, and in November 2019, multiple LGBTQ+ YouTubers brought a lawsuit against YouTube for censorship.
I can see that the video has the sexuality content about the gays and everything. That is your shocking content. So yeah, it comes under shocking content, huh?
It seems YouTube doesn't want to upset certain countries with poor track records on LGBTQ+ rights. And this not-so-secret censorship is how they do that.
If that algorithm is really telling people and making the initial decision based on who they are, even if it's only 25% of the decision, that is downright unlawful, it's downright fraudulent, and it's outright discrimination.
Number 7. COPPA. In 2020, sweeping changes were made on YouTube involving a bill passed by U.S. Congress called COPPA, or the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. Essentially, it means that kids using the internet can't be tracked and can't be presented with targeted ads. This means that YouTube creators who make content aimed at children have to declare that children will watch the video. Advertising to children has been regulated for decades, but the problem with COPPA is that YouTube has pushed the enforcement of the law onto the creators themselves.
You know your videos and audience best. So we've launched a new audience setting that lets you tell us if your videos are made for kids or not.
This has been seen by many as YouTube completely avoiding accountability for collecting data on child users for years, making the platform's unethical behavior the responsibility of the people the company relies on for revenue. Number 6. Conservative demonetization. Also known as the Vox adpocalypse, this happened in 2019 when journalist and YouTuber Carlos Maza, who was working for Vox at the time making liberal and left-wing political content, posted a video compilation on Twitter of him being targeted by right-wing YouTuber Steven Crowder.
You're being given a free pass as a crappy writer because you're gay.
The compilation had dozens of instances of Crowder using offensive language about Maza, who is gay, and called out YouTube for repeatedly refusing to do anything about the harassment. What followed was a mass demonetization of many conservative and right-wing YouTubers, including Crowder, but also the likes of Ben Shapiro and Dave Rubin, who felt they were being targeted by YouTube and the, quote, liberal media. Number 5. Misinformation and radicalization. Sticking with YouTube's controversial record on political content, in the last decade, the platform has been blamed for the increased radicalization of young people to the far right, as well as the distribution of misinformation. Things like vaccine skepticism and climate change denial have all found a large audience on YouTube. The so-called alt-right pipeline, which for many begins with center-right YouTube personalities, has even led to tragic acts of extremist violence like the horrific Christchurch mosque shooting in New Zealand in 2018. YouTube is full of bad faith actors, though thankfully in 2021, it began cracking down on COVID misinformation specifically. Number 4. The Partner Program. Though YouTube has made a lot of mistakes since its inception, it's not all bad. The introduction of the Partner Program back in 2007 was a huge leap forward for the internet in general, finally giving people a way to make money from the ad revenue on their videos.
When people ask what I do for a living, older people basically, and I say I do YouTube, I'm always met with, oh, that must be amazing, you must earn a lot of money.
This meant that being a YouTuber became an actual job, and you'll struggle to find anyone born in the 2000s and later who didn't once dream of making it big on YouTube. And many who still do. The program has expanded since its introduction, and now anybody with enough total watch time or subscribers is allowed to monetize videos. Number 3. The adpocalypse. The very first adpocalypse of many happened throughout 2016 and 2017, where people outside the platform finally started to become aware that a lot of content was being monetized, which advertisers didn't like. A lot of it stemmed from one of PewDiePie's controversies, where some of his videos were called out for being offensive. Thus began the trend of companies pulling their ads from YouTube, which has continued for years for various reasons, namely Starbucks, Walmart, and Pepsi. In 2018, there was a massive crackdown on Tide Pod challenges, with many videos getting removed. Number 2. Content ID. False copyright strikes are the bane of every YouTuber's life, especially for smaller channels who can't afford to have one of their videos demonetized, even temporarily while they fight a content ID claim.
Some jerkface has stolen a copyright video! Fire me, friend!
Mario, don't panic. YouTube has a copyright takedown process to protect content owners.
Though we understand large distributors from traditional media don't want movies or songs posted to YouTube in their entirety, Content ID and DMCA takedowns have almost certainly done more harm than good since their introduction in 2007 and 1998 respectively. They often target people who use copyrighted content completely legally in a fair use video.
I want to take down a video that is making fun of me.
Mario, you can't go around censoring people who are commenting on or criticizing your video. Copyright law leaves room for commentary, criticism, parody.
YouTube also doesn't seem to care about taking advantage of the Content ID system, as it featured controversial creator Enes Batur in the 2019 Rewind after he did exactly that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Monetization and Google buyout. YouTube has been owned by Google for so long, it might be hard to remember that once it was an entirely independent venture started by a group of friends.
They went from obscurity to fame over a very short period of time. Very similar to how Google rose.
But its independence didn't last for too long, as it was bought by Google in 2006, only 20 months after its founding.
We're going to stay committed to developing the best service for you, developing the most innovative service.
Google enabled YouTube to monetize its videos, which made it a profitable website for them, and eventually led to creators being able to make a living.
It's not clear whether the competitive advantage YouTube has is something that can be sustained for days, let alone months and years.
But though a lot of this is good, it does mean that YouTube has gotten more and more corporate. And in 2020, YouTube announced that even videos not monetized by the uploader will run ads, with the uploader not seeing the money.
Joey doesn't share food!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.